Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters. As we mentioned, my parents visited this past week, and on Tuesday, we showed you my father giving his tough love feedback to the sea captain, but my mom also chimed in. So we're going to show you her far gentler response at the end of tonight's show. I should also note that next week will be our final shows in this location, which is sad. It's really sad because that barely gives us time to introduce popular new characters like the fish, who probably has a drug problem.
Hey guys, can I borrow $50?
What's it for, Steve?
What do you need it for, Steve?
I need it for bus fare and my mom heard her need investment opportunities.
Oh, Steve.
You need help, Steve.
Isn't it a shame we don't have time for that? Anyway, Senator Kamala Harris made her first public appearance as Joe Biden's running mate yesterday, while President Trump and his allies strained to come up with increasingly ridiculous ways to attack her. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Yesterday, Biden and Harris made their first campaign appearance together, and it was a historic moment, with Harris becoming the first black woman and the first Asian American to appear on a major party ticket, which sets up quite a contrast with the Republican vice president, whose 23andMe DNA profile came back 92% Irish ghost. The other 8% was English ghost. Harris had her first chance to go after Trump as the Democratic candidate for vice president, and she took aim squarely at his response to the coronavirus pandemic.
When other countries are following the science, Trump pushed miracle cures he saw on Fox News.
It's not a miracle, it works. If you chug a full bottle of Pepto-Bismol, stick a hairdryer up your butt and flush a AA battery down the toilet, you can cure coronavirus. If you don't believe me, just ask this Fauci puppet my staff made me, because the real Fauci puts me in a bad mood.
Side note here, in case there are any conservatives who hate watch a closer look, I should say, for safety's sake, that AA battery cure doesn't really work. You have to use a 9-volt. Biden announced his pick of Harris via text on Tuesday, and when he heard the news, Mike Pence immediately tried to hide by blending into the background. She can't debate me if she can't see me. At the VP debate in October, Pence is going to send a mannequin and a recorder in his place, Ferris Bueller style, and hope no one notices. Thank you, Senator Harris. Mr. Vice President, your rebuttal. Okay, well, it sounds like he's asleep. Senator Harris, back to you. When the news was announced on Tuesday, Pence tried to put on a brave face as opposed to his usual no face, although I'm not sure bravado is really a posture that works well for Mike Pence.
On the way here, I just heard that Joe Biden named his running mate. California Senator Kamala Harris will be the Democrat candidate for vice president. You all might like to know that the vice presidential debate is going to be held on October 7th in Utah. So my message to the Democrat candidate for vice president, congratulations. I'll see you in Salt Lake City.
Is there anyone in the world with less swagger than Mike Pence? Watching him try to act cocky is like watching an Amish grandpa dance at a wedding. Hey, Macarena. And look, I know Pence didn't pick the debate location, but is there a whiter throwdown in history than see you in Salt Lake City? That's like hearing someone say, why don't we settle our differences at the Williams-Sonoma Instapot aisle, 8 a.m. sharp, because I got Pilates at 9. They really have no idea how to attack Harris. They're flailing. First, they criticized the way Biden made the announcement. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany tweeted, "It's fitting that the man who thinks he can win a presidential campaign from his basement chooses to announce his VP pick online. Sleepy Joe is once again calling it in." Good point, Kayleigh. The internet is just a passing fad. The future is all about network television. Also, did you forget that the guy you work for uses Twitter so much he had his phone surgically attached to his face? Not only did Trump announce his VP pick on Twitter in 2016, the dude even fires people on Twitter because he's too scared to talk to him face to face. If Trump ever dumps Pence from the ticket, we're going to find out from a tweet that says, "Can someone ask Mike to bring me a Diet Coke before security escorts him from the building?" Also, this basement talking point is so dumb. Say what you want about the guy, but he's out in public all the time making speeches, riding bikes, driving a Stingray in his aviators like a grandpa who's on the prowl. Grandpa, where are you going? I'm going down to bingo night to meet some ladies. Don't wait up. Grandpa, it's 3 in the afternoon. Trump is the one who spends all his time haunting his own golf course like the legend of Haggard Vance.
It's a slant rhyme, but I'll allow it.
Also, we're all in our basements. It's a pandemic. I spent the first half of the summer talking to the wasps in my attic and the second half befriending a sea captain painting, a wooden duck, and a fish who keeps asking me for Sudafed.
Well, I have a cold.
You don't have a cold, Steve.
You need help, Steve.
And again, everybody, after tonight, only 4 more shows with all these guys. But just because we love your feedback, we're posting a new poll on Twitter at Sea Captain Polls, where your options will be, I think the Sea Captain was a nice addition during a difficult time, or I hate fun. But Trump and his allies on Fox really think this dumb basement talking point is a political winner. Here's Sean Hannity straining to find something he can criticize about the way Biden announced Harris as his pick.
And just today, the Biden campaign photographer, look at this. They released a picture showing Joe talking to Kamala Harris. Look at what you see there. There appears to be a script in the picture, and Joe actually has his phone backwards.
Oh my goodness, a script? For a politician? What's next, a podium? Look at what you see. Joe Biden appears to be standing behind some sort of tiny wooden house. And why does he have his name on the sign? So he can remember it? At least when Biden uses a script, he can actually read it. Unlike a good friend of yours.
When they gaze upon Yosemite, towering sequoias. I want to also thank the Minneapolis Police Department. They have been so incredible. Minneapolis. They sacrifice every day for the furniture and future of their children. Prevent Iran from developing an internet, this is so totally important, an intercontinental ballistic missile.
I know Trump's a teetotaler, but whenever he's reading off a script, he has the exact mannerisms of a guy who's desperately trying to hide that he's drunk at work. That's why he's always swaying back and forth, even when he's trying to stand still. As you can see from this slide, quarterly prostitutes, and this is so totally important, but quarterly profits are at an all-time high. And on this next slide, you can see that I totally love you guys. And then there's Trump, who tried maybe the dumbest attack of all. The only thing he could come up with was complaining that she was too mean to Brett Kavanaugh.
And now you have a sort of a mad woman, I call her, because she was so angry and such hatred with Justice Kavanaugh. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. She was the angriest of the group, and they were all angry.
She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh then, now Justice Kavanaugh. She was nasty to a level that was just a horrible thing. I thought she was the meanest, the most horrible, most disrespectful of anybody in the U.S. Senate.
These guys love to joke about liberal tears, but they are the whiniest little babies in the world. Trump sounds like he's sniffling to his mom after getting home from the playground.
She was the meanest, most horrible, most disrespectful bully. She gave me a wedgie.
Also, you really think that's a winner? She was mean to John Hughesville and Brett Kavanaugh, the guy who looks like he's in a Where Are They Now about the preppy bad kid from Goonies.
My father will turn this entire neighborhood into a country club.
Hey, speaking of villains from John Hughes movies, I now have only 1 week left to achieve my summer goal of Steph from Pretty in Pink hair. It's going to be close, but I really hope I can do it.
I believe in you.
You can do it.
I'm high all the time.
Trump and his allies are flailing as they come up with increasingly absurd attacks on Harris. All they have so far are their usual dumb insults. You know, attacks that are just
meanest, the most horrible, most disrespectful.
This has been A Closer Look.
I like you, Sea Captain.
More than you like the duck?
Yeah, that means no.
Sorry, Sea Captain.
Hillary!
Now more than ever, City Harvest needs your help feeding New York families hit by the COVID crisis. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. We love you.